Welcome to a special edition of Burning Questions. We're at Tabcorp Park Menangle, at least I am. It's raining. It's raining cats and dogs. It's very cold, but we don't whinge because there's a great couple of races coming up here tomorrow night. We're welcoming a special guest, Jack Trainor, an expert on Victorian trots. No, he's not here for that. He's here for his New South Wales expertise. How are you, Jack?
Yeah, I'm really well, thanks, and thanks for having me on.
And he's a handsome man too. One man who used to be handsome, Greg Shookers. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there, J-Bon.
That's good to hear. And Nikkita, how are you? You're right next door to me, but it's raining so loud I can't hear you. You good?
Yeah, it's going well, thanks, boss.
You look like you're in a shed. All right, we've got to talk to our sponsors. Whether you're celebrating a win or shoveling in the stables, you want your staff to look their very best. And you do that with uniforms from Hip Pocket Workwear and Safety. They have you covered for clothing, protective equipment, and plenty more. Check out hippocketworkwear.com.au. These, Team Victoria, Hip Pocket Workwear.
Yep.
God bless. Question number one. We'll start with you, Jack. Can Ego lead from the pole, or does he retain the tactical advantage over King of Swing, even if he doesn't?
No, I don't think so. I think Bonsell Benjamin, having driven him his last few starts, is awfully quick off the gate, and I think he's going to make a hard night of it for Expensive Ego. I think Bonsell Benjamin is so quick over the first 50 metres, he doesn't actually give other horses a chance to muster up and gain speed inside him. So I'm not saying I wouldn't like to be David Moran sitting behind him, but I think he's going to have his work cut out for him on Saturday night, that's for sure.
Hey, a little bit of inside info, Jack. Any chance that Bonsell Benjamin's going to lead and hold the lead?
Well, as we well know, with the Grimson runner, you never say never, but I don't really know, to be honest. I suppose if one of the better ones got there quick enough, I'd assume that they'd hand over, but at the same time too, I couldn't really tell you. I mean, I'm hoping, probably so is Greg, I'm hoping he parks him out all the whole way.
I think we got a little something there, Greg. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I agree with Jack. From what I've seen, I would be staggered if he was able to muster inside a horse like Bonsell Benjamin at the start. So I think he will get crossed. But, yeah, the way I read the race unfolding, the horses that will be around him shortly after the start, I don't think he'll have too much trouble getting away from the inside if Dave Moran obviously chooses that path. So, yeah, I could see him definitely being crossed, but I think he can still make the most of it. And, yeah, whatever happens after that, who knows? But exactly like what Jack said, I'll be praying to God that they want to park the favourites, that's for sure.
I didn't even know you were a Christian. Did you know Greg was a Christian? He's going to pray to God now. He's going to pray to the Lord. Skeeter, I think a lot of this is theatre. I think even if he does get crossed, Expensive Ego will get off very easily. David Moran's too smart. I just can't see this situation that they're talking about where he's going to be entombed in transit. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I tend to agree, Bon. Look, I think he definitely can get crossed. We saw Malcolm's Rhythm get out really good in the first round of heats, so he potentially gets crossed, and then as well Bonsell Benjamin. But I agree, David Moran's the right person aboard to make sure that Expensive Ego is not buried away on the inside. I think he'll be able to get off the fence, and from there, whether he finds the top or not, that is probably the question. But I still think that he will be able to hold that forward advantage on King of Swing and be in front of him.
Would you like to say something, Greg? Looked like you were putting your hand up like you're in class just then, or are you just stretching the shoulder?
Just stretching, doing some exercises, make sure I'm ready to.
You've got those big deltoids. Question 2 of the burning questions is brought to you by the Fresh Connection. They export Australian fresh fruit to more than 35 countries. Which ones we don't know. Headed up by Damien Glengarry, who does a magnificent job. He's the export manager. The Fresh Connection specialise in citrus, table grapes, cherries and mangoes. Freshconnection.com.au. We like to ask all our guests what their favourite fruit is, Jack. What do you enjoy? Are you a banana man? Are you a mango man? You like a cherry?
Yeah, no, I'll keep it pretty simple. Banana, you can't go wrong with a banana.
Josh Aiken tells me we open them the wrong way. We'll talk about that in the next burning questions. Question 2. Greg, will class or form prevail in this year's ID Trotters final?
Yeah, hopefully a bit of both, I reckon. Yeah, I think Mary Law has got a bit of class about him and form as well. So I'm hoping he can get the money and yeah, class and form will prevail.
That's an interesting answer. Skeeter, your thoughts? We talk about the class runners, Majestic Man, Tough Monarch, Pink Galahs, Murray Law maybe on the next level. Then you've got all these horses you never would have expected to potentially win an Inter-Dominion trotting final, and maybe they now can.
They absolutely can, Bon. It's such an open contest, isn't it? And it's going to be great. There's so many fairy tale stories amongst the race. So no doubt there's going to be a worthy winner, and that could be a number of horses. But without a whole heap of confidence on with the Pink Galahs, I think she's had to do it tough throughout the heats. And I think if Maddie Craven can find her a nice spot in the running line and just save her to use that sprint at the end, I think she could be getting over the top of them late. So I'm with her narrowly, but it's going to be a great contest.
Class or form, Jack, what do you reckon? I've written this question. I don't have an answer. I'm staying out. I really don't know. I think that form is going to be more important than class. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it does seem to look that way with probably some of the class horses looking like they're just a bit below their best. I'm going to be cheering for my fellow Kiwis in Majestic Man, and I think who better to have on in the Inter-Dominion trotting final than Anthony Butt. But I also like Greg's driving Mary Law. I think looks like he's really on song for this, and every run he just keeps producing the goods and seems to have a nice handy front row draw. And I think Greg's got a really nice drive in this race.
So we give you a home here in Australia. We give you a career, an opportunity to make something of yourself, and you still want to be with the Kiwis.
Yeah, 100%. And if I didn't say that, Ants would kill me anyway. So 100%.
We'll send you back to Jacinda Ardern, I reckon.
You can't get me in
Question
there
3 is brought to you by APG. You boys can keep talking after burning questions. We'll keep going. We'll leave Jack to just look handsome in the corner at the moment because we'll go through the Victorian form now. Can Spring repeat his fresh heroics, or will they leave him flat, Candyman?
Oh, look, he couldn't have been more impressive last time around, obviously, and he's drawn handy again, and you couldn't possibly think he's going to be stuck 3 deep this week. So, yeah, if he finds his way to the front and hasn't taken any harm from last week's run, he should prove to be way too good for him again. So, yeah, he's just obviously an exciting horse, and Connection's pretty upbeat, I think, after that win last week. So, yeah, providing he's come through it all right, it's pretty hard to see him being beaten.
Well, that's the question, Skeeter. Has he come through it all right? I've got a theory about horses going that well first up, that it can flatten them, but I hope he bounces off it and improves because he was sickeningly monstrous first up from a break last weekend.
Yeah, he was. Not many could sit 3 deep the trip and win like he did first up from a break. So it does probably leave just that slight question mark that only a week later can he come through and do it again. But he's far and away the best horse in the race. So I think even if he's close to his best, he should be winning because, he looks like a really exciting horse. We knew it, but if that run last week is anything to go by, he's in for a massive preparation.
All right, question 4 of the burning questions, live from Tabcorp Park Menangle, where it's -4 degrees and precipitous. The last of our burning questions is with thanks to Falvo Fruits. Specialists in table grapes. They're not the wine ones, apparently, Jack, just so if anybody asks you. It's the 1960s. Michael and Josie Falvo are keeping the tradition going, and everyone loves their grapes. Keep an eye out for Falvo Fruits. You know you'll love them. Will we see the best blue chip, or has he lost our trust? He's lost yours, I reckon, Skeeter.
I don't know if he's lost my trust. I'm just not sure where he's at and how good he is, Bond. So we haven't seen him for a few weeks. He has had a trial, which was pretty good. That was a nice, easy trial for him. So, look, he could come out and win, but this week in particular, I'm going with Sierra. I thought she was fantastic last time out, and I just think she's probably the best horse in the race. Greg could probably tell us more because he knows her quite well. So she's drawn 7 over the short, so it's not going to be easy, but I just think she's probably the better horse at this stage.
My heart still hasn't calmed down, probably from when Greg was 3 wide the trip on Tangoing with Sierra and still managed to win. And I had the lot on, but she won. That's the main thing. Blue Chip Delight. Am I overrating him? I think he's a pretty good horse. He has lost my trust a little bit. I'm giving him one more chance.
If you're coming to me, J-Bon, then I think that I probably agree with everything that's just been said there. He's a nice horse, but I don't think he's any star. The draw is obviously very favourable for him. under these conditions. But yeah, it's a handful field. This Tango would clearly be my top pick if you knew exactly how the race was going to unfold and where she was going to sit, because she's a quality mare, and her run last week was just huge to get to as close as what she did from pretty much an impossible situation. She's the class runner of the field for mine. But can she beat Blue Chip Delight from the draw? Probably over the short, I'd say be tough. So sitting on the fence really, but certainly she's a lovely mare, and I'd probably say if you were just going to compare horses, pound, she's the better of the two.
So much does Greg Sugars respect Andy Gaff. Here's a peek behind the curtain. He's at Tabcorp Park Menangle, but he's gone in his car just so he can look like Andy. Just so he can look like Andy Gaff. Question 5 of the burning question. Is Powderkeg prepared to prove he's reached another level? You wanted me to call your name, Greg? Greg, I want you to answer that one first. Powderkeg.
What was the question?
Is Powderkeg ready to reach another level? Come on.
I think Lisa's done a great job. You know, in recent times, she's sort of changed the way her approach to races with this horse. He was going through a stage where he was over racing and doing a few things wrong, and she's put a lot of time and effort into teaching the horse to be a better racehorse. And just in recent starts, she's starting to reap the rewards for that effort. So I think it looks a very suitable race for Powderkeg, paper at least, and he's my top selection in that race, that's for sure. And I think he is starting to really show the potential that he showed as a young horse when he sort of lost form a little bit, probably as an early 4-year-old. But he's really starting to take that next step forward now.
I'm really starting to learn how hard it is for our burning questions guests, because I've got a burn on in the left bicep right now. I'm going to drop the phone in a minute. Skeeter, I think you'll win Powderkeg, so do you.
Yeah, that's right. I completely agree with what Greg said. I think Lisa's done a great job being really patient with this horse, and he has needed time, and they're now reaping the rewards because he's put together some really consistent runs of recent times. So I think she'll let him balance up at the start and then probably press forward from there. Obviously, on paper, his main danger is always ready, but he was a little bit disappointing last time out. So just not quite sure where he's at, but if he's anywhere near his best, he's going to be a massive threat to Powderkeg. But I think now is the time that we can see Powderkeg take that next step.
All right, it's your turn to come back now, Jack Calvin Klein, trainer. We want your top tip, ignoring the fact that you're in the pacing final. Who's your top tip for the Inter-Dominion pacing and trotting finals, and your best anywhere?
I still think King of Swing's one to beat, even from the second row draw. I think he seems to be peaking at the right time. He can keep out of that early burn, and obviously has the class that he can make his own luck and put himself into the race at the right time. I also think probably as a roughie, I haven't slept on Max Delight. I think he's been super in every run that he's been in. He's also going to be able to keep out of the early burn, and we know that he'll go the distance. So hoping to be able to grab his helmet on my own one. But yeah, I think if a knockout chance, if it can't be me, I think Max Delight is definitely one that's got the class to go with him, and every one of his runs this time in have been super.
Trotting?
Trotting, I think could be a good night for Greg. I think he's on the right runner. Be good to see. And obviously the Ray Harvey story with the penny drop, I think that's sort of touched everyone, and no one would be complaining if he won a trotting grand final too. So I think he's a live chance. And for the roughie, I just put in a lot of muscle. I think it's drawn the running line there. It's been good in all its races too. Should get a really easy trip and behind them. And if it goes a distance and can show what as good as it can be, I think it's a really good knockout place chance.
With Māori law wins, it's still got a Kiwi theme, mate. So we win every way. All we do is win.
And
Greg Sugars has his ringtone. Certainly did as well at one point. All we do is win, no matter what. Now, you're very heavily invested here, Greg. So just answer as honestly as you can. Best winning chance in the Inter-Dominion finals and best roughies.
Look, I think if I was taking myself out of the equation, I'd still think I'd have to say King of Swing is the number 1 seed going into the race. Got a couple of question marks against him though. That the only time he sort of won over the longer trips in recent times, he's been able to find the front quite comfortably. So that's certainly not going to be the case this time. So he's going to have to prove he is a champion to say he can win this race. I still think his performances through the series have been good enough that he has to be the number one pick. And but yeah, having said that, outside of that, there's a lot of good knockout chances. I think my fella is as good as any. Triple Eight, he's been enormous through this series. Very happy with everyone he runs. And yeah, I'd agree exactly with what Jack said. There's probably not a great deal between Max Delight and my fella. Probably going to race very similarly. So whoever gets the best out of me and Puppet probably determine who beats who home. And another one that's been awesome, I think, throughout the series is Majestic Cruiser, the other Grimson runner. So yeah, no one's really spoke about him in times, I don't think, but I think his runs have been very good too. And I think he'll need the right sort of trip too. But he fought on really well last week at Newcastle after doing a power of work early. So by no means is it a 2-horse race. I think there's a lot of chances over the long trip.
Trotting final?
Trotting final, yeah, I'm very happy to be aboard Maori Law. I think he's just grown throughout the series. So I think, yeah, if I wasn't lucky enough to be sitting behind him, I think he's my number pick. Penny Drops has been awesome, as we all know, and the trip is right up his alley. But Pink Galars, I think she is a class mare, and probably has more speed than most horses in the field, really. So it all depends if she's the right trip. She probably hasn't been fortunate enough to have the run that she needs throughout this series. But if the game, which I know Caleb Lewis has been drumming into him all week, just wait, and get the last crack at him, then she will be dangerous late. So, yeah, but I'm still happy to say Maori Law is my top selection.
Now, normally I'm the one who talks the most, but with Greg on the show, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. So my top tip in the pacing final is Expensive Ego. I'd be surprised if King of Swing won, to be honest. And my best roughie is Triple Eight, and that's the one that I've got to bet on. And in the trotting final, Pink Galars on top. Kai Belly Chief, my best roughie. Best anywhere is Major Roller, Tabcorp Park Melton. Skeeter, you can be the Andy Gath of today's show and go last.
I'm feeling the pressure, and our best bets probably need to turn its form around because I haven't been on that flash. But yeah, look, I've chopped and changed all week, but I think Expensive Ego is the one to beat. Just drawing the front row, so I've got him on top. Best roughie, definitely Triple Eight. I think he goes in for third for mine, and he's got a great winning chance if a few things go his way. In terms of the trotters, sticking with Pink Galars, and it's probably a dead heat for a roughie. One of my faves, Kai Valley Chief, and also Just Believe from the pole. I think he's been really good and building throughout the heats as well. So, yeah, I think he's a great chance from there to weigh in. And best anywhere else, look, I think if we've just got to trust that Spring in his step has come through that run okay, and the 270 that they put up was crazy. So he's into about $2 now, but I think he's definitely the best horse in the race, so that still seems a pretty good price.
Well done, Greg. Good luck, mate.
Thank you.
Super performance from you, Jack. You blazed off the gate, you dropped anchor, and you sprinted home a treat, mate. Appreciate you joining us.
Oh, good. Thanks very much, guys. It's been fun.
And well done, Skeet. Get out of that shed. It looks like you're in the panic room. Try and find the key. I think it's under the table. That's been Burning Questions live from an inclement Tabcorp Park Menangle with the Inter-Dominion Grand Finals to be staged here tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us.